top and would require, the rate study makes perfect sense to look into that.
Any of those things that we had as a priority one, you guys can
Yeah,
shuffle those around. And I know you had a question earlier about kind of the priority of the water line projects that they can answer.
What it was is it was too big of a chunk.
Yeah.
When I looked at it in the first go round, it wasn't something that I could start picking away at. And so that's why I asked for it to be broken down and easier to identify. The other thing too is then we can look at if we're doing something else, we can go, oh, hey, we can go do 380 feet of pipe while we're doing this and check something off. Or, because the other thing that if we ever get to a point where there's more development in town, I know personally on my project, well, Matt knows he's on my projects. There's instances where development comes into town and you can incentivize, right, them with SDC funds to do the pipe repair for you. I'm doing 3 blocks of 24-inch storm line in another community right now, just because instead of me installing my 18-inch, I install a 24-inch and I get $132,000 from the city. So that's why I wanted it in smaller chunks.
yeah,
So that we could pick away at it, or we could incentivize developers to take care of it for us using SDC funds if available, that kind of stuff.
any other questions?
That one slide was $174,000 a year, so what are we getting in those 5 years?
I have the number. It's funny that you say that. I switched it over to 1 year because I thought that would be easier to read up, but I'd have to do the math, to be honest with you. It's every 5 years would be, it's 10% of it, so because it's a 50-year sediment, so it's about $800,000.
What was this for? I'm sorry.
Pipeline improvements. That's what we're talking about, right? Yeah.
It was on your last slide before.
Yeah, I switched it to 1 year because we were having this conversation, what would be easier to budget. In the report, it has both listed out, so you can see what it is at 5 years and what it is at 1 year.
So that's for
That's for pipeline improvements.
improvements.
Which all the improvements we're suggesting, for the record, are replacements. It's entire pipe segments.
And you said, what was the timeline for the total replacement? Was 100 years or was it
So for what's listed in this report, it's 20 years.
20
It's
years?
the entire planning period. So from 2025 to 2045. These are the pipes that I think you should replace now, all of which have deficiencies met. This isn't.
Criticalities like.
Yes, this isn't, I know that in your previous water master plan, there was a lot of suggestions of things that were not necessary to the improvement of the fire flow and were more about like growth statements. And so while looping needs to be improved, the focus of this report was deficiencies. These are the deficiencies that we found that need to be fixed.
So I don't know if anybody else has anything else. I know I asked for the FTE to be added, just to potentially help with budgeting and staffing down the road when we decide to pick one of these up so it doesn't get forgotten. Is there anything else that anybody would like to see in the report, or is there anything that city manager, public works director, you guys need in this report for us to put a bow on this thing and start utilizing it?
Just to be clear, so you guys did put the CIP projects in order from most important to.
Correct. Yep.
So one other thing that you want to do before you put a bow on it and start using it is get it approved by the state. It needs to go be submitted to OHA and they'll review it. So.
Okay,
If you guys are comfortable with that, we can submit it. To make the edits you suggested.
But you're comfortable, so you want to see the final draft before it goes to the state?
this is why I rely on staff to read it closer than I do.
Okay.
Ultimately, this is gonna be your working document for the next 20 years, so I believe you guys have looked at it as such. I don't think it needs to come back before the council unless anybody disagrees. But for budget purposes, we can start using it as a cheat sheet even before it's approved. And it can go to the state, it can get the bow put on it, and then we can start utilizing it for any potential programs that are coming forth. And that was part of the whole reason of doing this, was to hurry up and make ourselves eligible for free money where possible.
You can use it for whatever you want, yeah, but
Yeah.
until it gets approved by the state, you're not gonna get that free money.
Yeah.
Does this, some of these projects, do they fall under, like, the, what do you call it, the, infrastructure, whatever act it was, I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But some of these shovel-ready projects, like the repairs, like the hydrants and the water lines, can those qualify for some of those shovel-ready projects?
We'd have to do the design on them.
Yeah.
The hydrants, you would probably say those are ready, because it's just, replacing or installing hydrants, like I said, Alan said he can do it.
So,
But the shovel ready means it's designed, ready to bid.
and that's something that we'd probably have to,
We'd have to decide if we wanted to
Decide.
spend the money to get the design ready and have it sit on the shelf.
And so I would not recommend you do that on water line projects, because those are kind of the cheap ones. If you're gonna go after that funding, use the reservoir or
Yeah.
treatment plant.
Back to your question, city manager, Mr. Daniel. I'm always a fan of sending stuff in for permits or approval at 90% and avoid expending all of our staff time from our consultants, only to then pay for more staff time once we get the comments back from the state. So I always recommend sending it at 95% and then utilizing the last 5 or 10% of the design fees to accommodate any changes requested by the state.
Anything else?
thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
My pleasure, honestly.
So sorry, I think we took almost your whole work session. I don't know if you had other things. This was it. So,
Not right now.
okay.
No,
I do like the fact that you did put the value engineering in where you could add as you go.
Yeah,
So I like that idea because not a lot of cities do that.
yeah, and I think it's one of the best parts of that technology, honestly.
well, if there's no more questions, I guess we will adjourn the work session and reconvene in 7 minutes for the regular meeting.